BYD in a fancy suit, bar of soap, bloated Bullfrog, the shipping container. This is a joke, right? A bullfrog that's holding its breath. It's 2026, and while the world is supposedly moving toward a cleaner future, Porsche has decided to clean out our eyes with the 2026 Cayenne Electric. The internet is currently in a state of mourning. On Reddit and Porsche forums, the consensus is that Porsche finally succumbed to the generic EV virus. They took the world's most successful luxury SUV and gave it the personality of a bar of soap. People are calling it everything from a bloated bullfrog to a BYD in a fancy suit. The Porsche Cayenne. It's the car that saved Porsche, the SUV that proved you could have 911 DNA in a family hauler. It was athletic, muscular, and most importantly, it looked like a Porsche. But for 2026, Porsche decided to take that DNA and drop it into a vat of generic electric acid. This is the new Cayenne Electric. Porsche calls it reimagined. The internet calls it a bullfrog that's holding its breath. Just look at this face. Gone is the aggressive, wide-mouthed intake that made the turbo models look like they were going to eat the car in front of them. Instead, we get this smooth, featureless mask. It's not minimalist, it's vacant. It looks like a high-end appliance, something you use to wash your laundry rather than blast down the Autobahn. And here is the funniest part. You'll see professional car journalists praising this front end as if it were a work of art. They use words like sculptural and forward-thinking. Let's be real, this is far from an amazing-looking vehicle front. But of course, you won't hear a single negative word from them. Why? Because Porsche just paid for their 5-star hotel stay, their first-class flights, and a fancy dinner in the desert. If they actually told you it looks like a melted bar of soap, they wouldn't be invited back the next time there's a car presentation. I don't have a free hotel room to protect, so I'll tell you the truth. It's boring. And these headlights. On the forums, people are losing their minds. They've adopted this flat, horizontal quad LED look that you can find on basically every Chinese EV from BYD to Yangwang. One comment on Reddit literally said it looks like an MG headlight that melted in the sun. If you took the badge off the front, you wouldn't know if this was a $170,000 Porsche or a generic crossover from a brand you can't pronounce. And what is with this lower section? It's lumpy. It's swollen. Because there's no engine to cool, they've filled the space with active aero flaps that look like cheap plastic shutters. When they're closed, the car appears to have a permanent derp face. When they're open, it looks like it's missing its front teeth. It's lost that Porsche scowl. It doesn't look like an apex predator. It looks like a confused amphibian wondering why its V8 was replaced by a giant AA battery. But if you think the face is a fumble, just wait until we turn to the side and see the blank wall profile and the minivan rear end. Step to the side and the disaster only gets more shapeless. The new Cayenne Electric has officially entered its soft era. Porsche claims this design is aerodynamically optimized, but to the rest of us, it looks like a 6,000-pound bar of soap that's been left in the shower too long. The previous Cayenne had tension. It had lines that suggested it was actually an SUV built by a sports car company. This is a blank wall. There's no character line, no muscle, just a vast, flat expanse of sheet metal that makes the car look incredibly heavy. It's almost 200 inches long now, and every inch of it feels like it's sagging under the weight of that massive battery. On the forums, the consensus is brutal. This is just a bloated Macan EV. It's like Porsche's design team only has one file on their computer named Electric SUV, and they just hit scale, 125%, and called it a day. It's lost its identity. It doesn't look like the flagship anymore. It looks like the Macan's older, less athletic brother who stopped going to the gym but still wears his old high school track jacket. Look at the proportions. They've stretched the wheelbase to nearly 119 inches to cram in those batteries, which has pushed the wheels to the absolute corners, but they forgot to fix the overhangs. From the side, it has this weirdly long, flat tail that makes it look less like a Porsche and more like a generic electric crossover you'd find in a rental fleet. And then there's the turbo model's party trick, the aero blades. Porsche actually added these little plastic flaps that power out of the rear haunches above 37 miles per hour to improve range. Really? This is a joke, right? You're telling me a 1,100 horsepower, 3-ton SUV needs 2 tiny plastic ears popping out of the side just to save 6 miles of range. Just 6. You could get 6 miles of range by just driving like a normal human being for 5 minutes. It's peak over-engineering for the sake of marketing. It's a motorized gimmick that's destined to break the second a bit of road salt or a car wash gets near it. It's not racing tech. It's a fidget spinner for millionaires who want to feel like they're saving the planet while doing 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. And don't get me started on the wheels. Even with the 22-inch options, the car looks like it's hovering. The wheel arches are covered in so much cheap, shiny black plastic that the wheels look tiny inside them. It doesn't look planted, it looks like it's tiptoeing. Porsche, you used to set the standard for how an SUV should sit. Now you're just making expensive minivans and hoping we don't notice the lack of soul because the doors open themselves. But wait until we get to the rear. If you thought the front was BYD, the back is where the Cayenne officially gives up. If you thought the front was a BYD special, the back is where Porsche officially gave up and joined the witness protection program. Look at this tailgate. It's tall, it's flat, and it has about as much personality as a shipping container. On the forums, the consensus is brutal. People are saying it looks like something Japanese, like a RAV4 or a generic Hyundai. Porsche used to have these beautiful, muscular haunches that flowed into the rear. Now, it's just a vertical slab of metal. It's lost that premium Porsche presence and traded it for commuter lane anonymity. And then there's the light bar. Porsche used to do the 3D floating light signature better than anyone. But on the 2026 Cayenne Electric, they've replaced it with what users are calling a boring, straight light bar with no shape. It's just a flat strip of LEDs that runs from coast to coast. They've blacked out the entire center section and trapped the Porsche logo behind a piece of plastic. It looks like it was designed by a committee that was afraid of shadows. There's no depth, no 3D effect, just a glowing red line that looks like it belongs on a generic EV startup's first prototype. And because there are no exhaust pipes to design around, Porsche just filled the bottom with plastic. A lot of it. It's this massive, industrial-looking diffuser that looks like it was borrowed from a tactical police vehicle. It's not sporty, it's just heavy. One YouTuber actually compared this rear end to a Vauxhall or a Polestar 3, and honestly, he's being kind. At least those cars have a consistent design language. Here, you have a frog front end and a Japanese SUV rear end. It's a Frankenstein project. So what is the 2026 Porsche Cayenne Electric? It's a 6,000-pound apology for a V8. It's a car designed for people who want the badge but are bored by the soul. Is this really the best you can do, Porsche? Really? You've created the ultimate spreadsheet car. It has the power, it has the tech, and it has the aero blades that save you a massive 6 miles of range. But it doesn't have the look. It's far from an amazing-looking vehicle. It's a lumpy, generic, over-engineered appliance. But hey, don't take my word for it. Just wait for the official reviews to drop. They'll tell you it's stunning and revolutionary while they sip their free champagne in the 5-star hotel Porsche paid for. Me? I'll be over here looking for a 2024 model with an actual engine and a design that doesn't look like it was made by a budget AI.